Hi guys, good morning. My name is Dan. This is Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the All Signs Daily reading for August 12th, which would be Thursday. It is not solely set for that date. So essentially, if you're seeing this on a different date than August 12th, that's okay. It might be that you're ready for the message that's in here rather than the date, right? So, and that works, that's the intention sort of with all of my readings. So they are broad spectrum in the sense that I speak in broad terms to try and reach as many people that may view them, at any given time. So you have to figure out where the video best fits in your life, if it does at all. If it doesn't, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong or you're doing anything wrong. It just may not be your reading. But if it does apply to a certain situation in your life and you can understand what I'm saying, then please take the guidance or the inspiration or perspective and use it to your advantage. Check out the drop-down menu underneath any of the daily videos. In there is some housekeeping stuff that I just want you to be aware of. How to get a hold of me via my social media channels. How to book a private reading through PayPal if you choose to do that. The decks I use and things I want you to think about when utilizing any of my readings on my channel. So please check that out. If you want to support the channel quickly and easily, a great way to do so is by hitting that thumbs up button. That's a big help. Leaving me a question or comment on the video is great. I do read those and I will mark them as liked so that you know that I've read them. I may even respond if there's something that I feel I can, accurately answer. What else? And hit the subscribe button if you want to join us every day. Also hit that notification bell. You'll get notified when the new video goes up or when I go live. You can subscribe to Patreon and get the daily forecast a day early at all levels over on the Patreon subscription service. There's also readings that are available only over there every month that the Patreon subscribers have access to, depending on the level of service that they subscribe to. All right, so let's get into this and see what's going on in the cards and see what the cards want us to know today. What do we need to be made aware of? Oh my God, I had a feeling it was this friggin' card again. I specifically didn't mention him this morning because I didn't want to see his dirty, confused ass. All right, I shouldn't call his dirty, confused ass dirty or confused. Well, he is confused. That's what he represents. He is the Seven of Cups. I have talked about him twice already this week. I am over you, Seven of Cups. All right, Seven of Cups is water, emotions. So we're talking about emotional confusion here. Should I stay? Should I go? What do I do? What's my best option? And this is going to feel important to you guys because it's cups, right? So whatever you're having that confusion around or that worry over, or you're weighing multiple options or thoughts or ideas around something, and they all feel maybe equally important or certainly maybe distressing, like we're in fear of making the wrong decision, that would be this card. That would be the energy of this card. The one good thing is that although that feeling may be uncomfortable or we don't like it, what I do feel like this is trying to tell us is that we might be exactly where we need to be. Whatever it is that we're weighing, measuring, trying to debate out in our head, although it's taxing and tiring, it is sort of, the cards are saying this is what you're dealing with. This is what you're looking at. So, if you're getting down on yourself or beating yourself up for, like you didn't do something right or you should be able to make this decision more clearly, that's not what the cards are saying. The cards are saying, yeah, we're honoring and acknowledging the fact that you are weighing out this decision, that you are maybe a little bit stressed by it. You maybe don't feel like you can make a clear, precise decision because one of the or two of the options might appear really good to you and you don't want to give up one to have the other, or whatever the situation is for you. And that's causing you stress because usually the Seven of Cups can be a bit stressful. It can be a bit like we might be running ourselves in circles, through through the options of what we should do or shouldn't do and what we want to do and what's the right thing to do and all of that sort of stuff. So that's all Seven of Cups energy. So if you're in that right now, please acknowledge that to me in the comments. I would love to hear that, because we've seen this cat. Not only was he in the midweek card for the weekly for this week, so we saw him yesterday and we're seeing him again today. So it does say to me that there's got to be a large group of you that are feeling this, or certainly, and we're talking about double Seven of Cups energy, right? So it's really trying to drive home, like, okay, where do we feel scattered? Where do we feel drawn or pulled in multiple directions and can't make a decision? Because that's the area that it wants us to acknowledge, focus on, or maybe ideally shift, change, gain control over, or gain perspective around, so that we can empower ourselves. Sevens are always the opportunity, through making a conscious decision to move towards something or choose something. I believe the value of the number 7. And when it comes to this card, it's about, okay, how do we, and this is again my opinion and how I read this card in tarot personally, it's like, how do we weigh our options successfully, pragmatically, intelligently, and then make a decision to move forward, right? Choosing the best and most clearest option, keeping our head, our heart, our emotions, all of those things as balanced as possible, even if we are stressed. That's sort of the skill or the learning that can come out of having to go through a period of this card. And we're seeing, like I said, this card quite a bit, so it could be a fairly intense period with this confusion or this choice, The choices could feel very important to you, hence the double Seven of Cups, right? Sometimes the Seven of Cups doesn't necessarily mean that it's a huge decision, but when I'm seeing it doubled down, like on the weekly and on the last 2 days, that really says we're really working through this indecision in some way, or this indecision may be around a very important topic for us, and so we're trying to work our way through it. That's okay. Embrace sort of the work. Don't resist it. Don't judge yourself during it, right? As you're trying to weigh your options. I would say another just a bit of advice is don't go too far down any one road, in the sense that, the what ifs and the possibilities can be immense with many options, and we can entertain them. And me as a Pisces, like with our imaginations, me personally, I can go get caught up in an idea of something happening that's not even actually really a reality yet, and be so freaked out by it that it's like, oh Jesus, like what am I doing to myself? And that's kind of the energy of this card. It's like, let's not do that. Let's be calm as we can be, mind you, right? And if we're not all that calm, that's okay too, but let's not judge ourselves for not being calm, and let's start to weigh our options here. Let's create our own clarity where we maybe don't feel as though we have any. And that's sort of the skill and the conscious choice that needs to take place when we see this Seven of Cups, okay? The next card for us to add to this story today, to tell us what we maybe need to do, is, I'll take this, card number 10, Flow. And we're not talking about that redheaded chick from Alice's Diner, as much as we love her and as sassy as she was, because she would tell this Seven of Cups to kiss her grits. This is more like getting into the flow of what we need, where it feels right, whichever direction we need to go. The numerological value of this is 10, which boils down to a 1. That 1 would be the focus on the self, right? Where do we need to be in all of this? What do we need most out of all of this? What feels the most in alignment to us during this time? That's where we want to sort of naturally flow to. Now, there might be a part of our ego or our fear that's saying, no, that can't be right. That's not what you want. Because it might mean something needs to change, right? Within our life, our environment, our choices, whatever. And we might be resisting that, and that's what's causing this Seven of Cups energy. But when we get into this sort of idea of flowing towards what's maybe right, I love that his hand is on his heart. Yes, the Seven of Cups is an emotional card. Yes, the heart holds the emotions, but the heart has like a connection to the spirit that's based rather in faith than the emotions having a connection not only to the heart and the spirit, but they also have a connection to the mind and the ego and fear. right? Which one are we listening to more as we make our choice today, right? Ideally, I think that we want to look for where the flow is the most easeful, or the most, like I said, again, with the Seven of Cups, we want to look pragmatically, think intelligently, start to like maybe shake away or X out options in whatever our decisions are right now, whatever's on our plate, start to remove things from our plate that no longer serve us or aren't necessarily working or aren't going to give us what we need. But also in keeping that focus in that on the self, making that conscious choice to sit in the flow of life and move towards the thing that brings us sort of that opportunity to be in faith, listening to our heart rather than the fears of our head, and moving in the direction that is our, and not to get too big out there, but that sun behind him with the four directions, these four triangles makes me feel like, where do we need to go towards our divine purpose, right? That's sort of the goldenness of the sun to me, in the four directions, the northeast, south, west. It sort of says to me, okay, when we get into that heart, we get into that focus of self, and we're in that space of ease, we can then flow towards what it is we need. We still have the emotions, which is the water that he's in, but they've become a little bit more placid. They've become a little bit more malleable and flexible, and they work with us rather than against us, right? This may be more in the heart. This may be more in the head. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's look to the grounding stone. And the grounding stone, okay, this is very much flow energy. This is relax. So grounding in that energy of relaxation. Where can we give ourselves ease? Where can we cultivate peace in our life as we're working towards an answer that we feel as though we need? The answer is there. I do feel that with these cards. I do even feel like this Seven of Cups showing up this many times is a gift. It's just we're in a period of discomfort or indecision that we're not enjoying. Hence why he has to keep showing up and presenting himself to us. Grounding in this, the grounding stone of relax is like, it's reminding us to kind of just chill. Not everything has to be done today. Not everything has to be decided today. Get more into this easeful flow of where does it feel right to be, right, in your heart. And honoring that first and foremost before maybe the needs of others, the perceptions of society, the requirements of your job, whatever that is. I mean, obviously, like I'm gonna say this one more time, do this intelligently and do this pragmatically while you're working your way through this. But be very much ever so aware of whether or not fear and ego is being your guide, or, faith and your heart is. Okay, I'm not saying one is better than the other. Both have a valid role in our space and in our experience. But if one is prevailing in a very strong way, I think the experience can be, either discomforting or, quite easeful. Okay, so remember to relax today when this arrives, or when you find yourself slipping into these worries or fears, and shift back into that flow and allow yourself to move through this stuff. Consciously make that choice and learn what you need to know so that you don't find yourself in this predicament again further down the road. Does that make sense? I hope that does. That is your forecast. Please hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button, and share any questions or comments. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and take care. All right. Bye-bye.